All right, so my name is William Higgs, and I'm with Elevate Energy. We are a nonprofit based in Chicago that has offices in Springfield as well as down here in Carbondale. Our focus is on building sustainability and encouraging energy efficiency and consumer savings. And today I'm going to be talking about updates on see, we got a chat comment. We're talking about updates on the COVID-19 utility shutoff moratorium. I'm going to be talking about some hardship programs that are designed to help people experiencing difficulties with their utility bill payments during COVID-19. And I'm also going to go over some consumer savings programs that can help you better manage your utilities usage and into the month bill. So to jump right in, I'm going to go over the moratorium timeline and recent updates on the moratorium on utility shutoffs. So back when COVID-19 was first becoming prevalent in 2020, the Illinois Commerce Commission, or the ICC, issued a moratorium on shutoffs. So this moratorium lasted up until sometime in mid-2020, and then the utilities companies all agreed to voluntarily extend that until September of 2020. And then as the end of September rolled around and we started getting into the colder time of the year, the utilities decided that they were going to extend the moratorium voluntarily until the 31st of March of 2021. But now we are in 2021 and it's March, and there has been no update from the utilities or from the ICC as far as their intent to extend the shutoff moratorium further. So as of what we know right now, the moratorium on utility shutoffs, specifically shutoffs for non-payments, ends as of the 31st of this month. So this puts people in a bit of a situation. A lot of folks might find themselves having past due utilities balances that they've accrued during COVID-19, and they haven't been shut off yet. And maybe they're not aware that the moratorium, the thing that has been preventing them from being shut off, ends at the end of this month. So that's the impetus for going into a few of these programs. Now, I'm going to be focusing on programs for Ameren customers. So if anybody is watching this and you are not in Ameren territory, a lot of these programs might not apply for you. So some of these will, some of these won't. But most people who are viewing this who are in Central and Southern Illinois are going to be in Ameren territory. Ameren extends to almost all of Illinois below Springfield, even parts of Missouri. A good chunk of kind of that northern area of Central Illinois is also going to be Ameren territory as well. Once you get a little closer to the Chicagoland area, you start getting up in the northern part of the state, you're in Commonwealth Edison or ComEd territory. But most people, if you live in Central Southern Illinois, you're in Ameren territory, and you might be eligible for some of these hardship programs. So the programs I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to pull up my list here, are 3 in-house programs for Ameren and 1 state program that determines your eligibility for these in-house programs. So I'm going to start with that state program, and that is LiHEAP, or the Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. So LiHEAP is a one-time cash payment that is for people who have some type of utility balance and are at risk of disconnection. One common question I often get about LiHEAP is whether or not you have to have already experienced a disconnection to be eligible for LiHEAP. You do not have to have experienced a disconnection. The only eligibility requirements for LiHEAP are that you receive a bill in your name. So you have the bill and you have a past due balance and you meet certain income eligibility requirements. So LiHEAP income eligibility is determined on the basis of 30-day residential income. So instead of determining your eligibility based on your annual income, this means that LiHEAP determines your eligibility based on what you've made in the past 30 days. So for a single person, you can make anywhere from $0 to $2,127 in the last 30 days and be eligible for LiHEAP. For a family of 4, anywhere from nothing to $4,367 in the last 30 days, you would be eligible for LiHEAP. And it increases according to the household size or the family size. But yes, if you meet those income eligibility requirements, you can receive LiHEAP. And in order to apply to LiHEAP, you have to go through what's known as a community action agency, or a CAA. Down here in Southern Illinois, there are a couple of CAAs. Here in Carbondale, I believe our community action agency is the Greater Egyptian Area Economic Council, I think is what it's called. I know over in Harrisburg, it's WADI, the Wabash Area Development Incorporated. And you get a little closer to like the West Frankfort area. It's Crosswalk. I know Crosswalk also has an office over in Murfreesboro. But these agencies are nonprofits that the state of Illinois allows to administer the LiHEAP program. And what you need to do is you have to contact one of these community action agencies. You have to bring proof that you have a utility bill, proof that the bill is past due, and proof of your income and the income of your household. And they will allow you to apply for LiHEAP. It's worth noting, while I am talking about this program, that the deadline to apply for LiHEAP this year is May 31st. So that seems like it's pretty far out, but that's only a little under 2 months out from now. But yeah, so that is LiHEAP. The reason why I started with LiHEAP is that your eligibility for LiHEAP is going to determine which of Ameren's in-house programs you want to apply for. So Ameren has 3 in-house programs, each of which are geared to different types of people who have been affected by COVID and have been unable to make their utilities payments and have, as a result, accrued some type of bill. These 3 programs are Fresh Start, Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends, and what's just called a Hardship Grant. Fresh Start is the one I'm going to talk about next. And Fresh Start, your eligibility for Fresh Start depends on you having received help from LiHEAP. So Fresh Start is a program that is for people who have received help from LiHEAP, but after the one-time cash payment that LiHEAP gave you, you still have some kind of balance remaining on your bill. Fresh Start will give you a one-time payment of up to $700 to clear the remainder of your utility balance after LiHEAP has been applied to your utility bill. So if you have a utility bill of, let's just say, $1,000 over the past year, with everything that's gone on with COVID, you've accrued a $1,000 Ameren bill. You meet the income eligibility requirements for LiHEAP, you apply, and they give you $400. That's great, but you still have $600 left on your bill. That's where you would contact Ameren, say, I've been financially impacted by COVID-19, and apply for the Fresh Start program. You can also go on Ameren's website and search Fresh Start, and you will be directed to a web page that will tell you more about the program and how to register. But Fresh Start gives you money to go towards the remainder of that balance. However, not everybody who has accrued a balance due to COVID-19 will meet those income eligibility requirements for LiHEAP. The LiHEAP 30-day residential income eligibility guidelines are fairly low. So for a family of 4, you can make up to $4,367 a month. That's an annual income of about $52,000. That's actually fairly generous, I guess. I think that's around 200% of the federal poverty level that they're allowing for LiHEAP this year. So that's a little more generous than it was last year. But there's still a decent chance that you perhaps do not meet the income eligibility requirements for LiHEAP and still have a balance. In that case, you would be encouraged to apply to a program like Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends. So Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends is another Ameren in-house program. You can find this program again by visiting Ameren's website and searching Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends, or WNCF. Also, if you Google warm neighbors, cool friends, especially warm neighbors, cool friends, and then in parentheses, WNCF, the page for this is the first result. Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends is awarded by the Energy Assistance Foundation, which is a charitable foundation that's funded and basically run by Ameren. And WNCF provides a similar one-time payment like Fresh Start, except the income eligibility requirements are more flexible than what you would need to qualify for Fresh Start. So because to qualify for Fresh Start, you have to have received LiHEAP. The Fresh Start income eligibility requirements are de facto going to be about the same as LiHEAP's. WNCF's, however, Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends, gives everybody a couple more $1,000s a month of wiggle room. So if you don't quite make the cutoff for LiHEAP, or you haven't received LiHEAP help, so even if you are in that income range, there's no guarantee you would actually get help from LiHEAP. So, if you did not get help from LiHEAP but still have a balance, or you do not meet those income requirements, Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends would be the next place to turn. The third and final Ameren in-house program is their Hardship Grants. So the Hardship Grant provides a one-time payment. I believe this one does not have the kind of set maximum like the Fresh Start program. So with Fresh Start, the other Ameren in-house program, you can only get up to $700. The Hardship Grant is a little looser, and the Hardship Grant also has a little looser income requirements as well. But this Hardship Grant, you can contact Ameren, apply for it, and just like LiHEAP is a one-time cash payment, this Hardship Grant will give you a payment that is for your bill. One thing that is worth noting is that none of these programs are mutually exclusive. So you could, in theory at least, be helped by LiHEAP, then helped by Fresh Start, then also apply for a Hardship Grant. Or you could, maybe you don't get help for Fresh Start, but you are helped by Warm Neighbors, Cool Friends. You could also then apply for a Hardship Grant as well. So you can kind of braid the sources of funding together depending on how severe your bill is or what kind of relief you need. So those are the main in-house programs administered by Ameren. These programs are all intended to help people who have experienced some type of financial hardship, have a past due bill that's specifically due to COVID. One other thing worth noting is that even if you do not receive help from any of these programs, you can also arrange a payment plan. So just like if you have a past due credit card, you can call up, set up a payment plan. Maybe they, take some off and you pay a lower amount. Maybe you pay the full amount, but you can still set up a plan. Ameren does something very similar. You can just contact Ameren directly and set up a payment plan if you are unable to get help from these programs. Even if you are able to get help from these programs and you have a remaining balance, you can set up a payment plan with them to pay off the remainder of that. Okay, so now that we've looked at a couple of ways that you can do something about your past due balance, I'm going to take the next 10-ish minutes and go over some consumer savings programs that are also administered by Ameren that help you better manage your energy consumption and your energy bill on a month-by-month basis. So this is good information for people who are experiencing financial hardship related to COVID-19. This is also just good information for people looking to save some money at the end of the month. So the two programs I'm going to go over in this section are PowerSmart Pricing and Peak Time Rewards. So PowerSmart Pricing is an hourly pricing program administered by Ameren. It was formerly administered by Elevate Energy as a third party, but recently Ameren brought that program back in-house. And what PowerSmart Pricing allows you to do is it allows you to pay hourly prices that are actually equal to the market value or the spot value of electricity at any given hour of the day, rather than a fixed flat rate that Ameren would normally charge you. So for most hours of the day during most times of the year, the fixed flat rate is substantially higher than the actual market rate of electricity. Ameren's able to do that because, like most utilities, they are a monopoly. There's no other utility in Ameren territory except maybe a couple munis and co-ops that use the infrastructure owned by Ameren. So they're able to charge you a markup. However, due to government mandate, they implemented this program and they offer you the opportunity to pay the market price instead of the flat rate that is a markup. So by paying these hourly prices, you can see substantial savings on your utility bill at the end of the month. Back when Elevate administered this program, we would see an average savings of about 15%. However, depending on how you shifted around your power usage through the day, that savings could be substantially higher than 15%. It could also be substantially lower. But in general, you will see a savings by signing up for this. The only eligibility requirement for this program is that you receive a power bill at the end of every month from Ameren that is in your name. A common question is whether or not renters are eligible for this program, and renters are eligible for this program. You don't have to own the property that is connected to the grid. You only have to be liable for the bill to be eligible for this. The second program that I want to go over is called Peak Time Rewards, and it works on kind of the same principle as PowerSmart Pricing, except instead of you paying a different price, you receive a credit towards your bill at the end of the month in exchange for shifting your power usage to what's called off-peak times. So if you actually follow the spot price of electricity through the day, you'll notice that it's primarily driven by demand for electricity through the day. And during some hours of the day, especially on hot days or very cold days, there is a whole lot of demand for electricity as people are trying to heat and cool their homes. Those are called peak times. To provide power for those peak times, Ameren and any other utility facing peak time demand has to fire up what's called peaker plants. These peaker plants are only used during these peak times, but the whole year they have to be maintained. So they wind up being very costly. And the more intense these peak times are, the more peak plants Ameren has to keep up and running. So the purpose of peak time rewards is to save Ameren money by encouraging people to not put as much stress on the grid during those peak times. And in exchange for helping Ameren take some stress off the grid, you receive a credit towards your bill at the end of the month that is roughly proportional to the amount of money that you save them by refraining from using power during the peak time. Peak time rewards tends not to have as much of a impact on your savings as PowerSmart Pricing. So whereas PowerSmart Pricing, you'll probably see an average savings of about 15% a month on your bill, peak time reward is only going to be maybe a few percentage points, but that can still be stacked alongside of PowerSmart Pricing to just kind of maybe give you that last little bit of savings that you need. In both of these programs, the best way to maximize the benefit of them is to shift your power usage away from peak times. So PowerSmart Pricing, during the peak times, that's when the power is most expensive. If you avoid using power during those times, which is mostly around like 10-ish in the morning and 5-ish in the afternoon, around the time that people are starting to head out for work and getting back home from work, if you shift your power usage off of those times, kind of away from then, you'll see greater savings if you are on those programs. So we have just gone over 3 in-house Ameren programs that provide financial relief for people who have experienced hardship with COVID. We've gone over the eligibility requirements for those programs, and we have gone over 2 programs administered in-house by Ameren to help you save on your bill moving forward. That is all the material that I have. I'll open the floor for any questions, if there are any.
I do not see any questions.
All right. In that case, that's about all I got. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me.